Alright, so I'm trying to platinum over 130 of the best single-player story games ever made that were suggested by viewers of the channel. And if I can't do it before hitting 800,000 subscribers, I will yet again lose another platinum challenge, so make sure to drop a like and subscribe. Alright, so today I chose to platinum the first of 4 Crash Bandicoot games that there is, Crash Bandicoot 1. I don't really think Crash Bandicoot needs explaining as to what it is. I'm pretty sure everyone who plays video games knows about it, and if you don't, then I actually envy you because you haven't had to endure the torture of playing it to platinum like I now have. It's pretty much just a 2D platformer parkour game, if you didn't know. There's a total of 23 trophies inside, including the Platinum Trophy, so there actually isn't that many at all, which is kind of sad considering how much torture this game really is. The difficulty varies upon your skill level with video games, of course, but the guide puts it in at a 7 out of 10, which is honestly pretty high. And I'm not gonna lie, when I was looking for a game to do next on the channel, I was kind of looking for a nice breeze, and I saw that this game only had 1 playthrough and 18 hours, so I kind of just assumed it was gonna be easy. Oh, how I was wrong. So wrong. Oh my god! But there's actually quite a few stages to the Platinum Trophy on Crash Bandicoot. First being to just play through all of the levels in general. Then you have to essentially just go back and redo them all, going after the gems and relics and keys. So it's pretty simple, and let's begin. The game opens up with a cutscene showing an evil scientist doing experiments on bandicoots, or whatever the actual orange furry species is called. But the gadget he had messed up or something, and good old Crash made it out of the lab and just threw himself out of a window. Sadly, we forgot about Shoddy, and she is still trapped there, so that's the game's plot now, by the way. We have to do parkour through various levels to reach the lab again and save our girl. Chivalry isn't dead. Anyways, you immediately get thrown into the very first level on the beach, and it's quite simple to be honest. Mostly due to the fact that it is the first level, and they wouldn't torture us quite yet now, would they? I did still find a way to fail though, which, yeah, I should say this soon. I absolutely and utterly suck at this game. I think it's mostly due to me just having bad depth perception as a person. Like, I can't see depth. I think I'm actually mentally disabled. But I did get my first trophy of the game during this first level, and it was from spinning an enemy into another enemy twice on the same level. I also did this by complete accident, which most people probably do. Basically, when you spin into enemies, it just sends them flying around to all different places of the world. Much like how Taylor Swift flies all around the world and then advocates for climate change. Okay, girl, okay. I also did spend a while here trying to get every single box I could because I wanted that gem thing that you get from getting all the boxes, which is why I actually just ran back and forth for a hot minute until finally figuring out where all the boxes are. And I did indeed get them all with that succulent, plump, juicy gem added onto my first level's completion. Did I get a trophy for that? No, I just did it because I wanted to, brother. Anyways, the next level was again sort of in the same spot. Most of these levels on the first island all look similar because they are all in the same location, but this one in particular looked exactly like the previous one, which is interesting. Might have been a few too many reused assets there, Naughty Dog. I don't know how to feel right now. But during this second level, I gathered 3 of the girl Crash Bandicoot's character tokens, I guess. And if you gather 3, you unlock a bonus level on almost every single normal game's level. A few don't have bonus levels, but the majority do, and they just contain like 10 to 30 boxes to break, with a little itty bitty puzzle sprinkled on. And this bonus level only had 5 boxes in it, which is so small. Why is it so small? Why? That's what I'm saying. Now, I'm not gonna go through every single level in this game because some are definitely easier and more boring than others, but I did get to do the classic boulder chase level that I'm also pretty sure is the same one we play in the Uncharted 4 game. Then again, I can't really remember, but it did look the same is all I'm trying to say. Anyways, this first island's levels are all very easy, so I made it to the final one and the boss fight very fast. The first boss's name is Papu Papu, and everyone always says that he is the easiest out of them all, but I deadass had trouble beating him. And yes, it's a skill issue, I know. But the way you hurt him is just by jumping on his face, and for whatever unknown simple reason, I just could not get the jump right. Like, I would go for it and then just eat and get damaged. It was sad. I almost cried. Eventually, I did get it, and good old Crash here did a little Fortnite emote along with a trophy popping from beating the first boss. I then continued on with more levels and sadly landed on the first one that actually began my downfall. If you were preying on it, I gotta admit, you've succeeded, because this level tortured me not only when first playing it, but for hours later when trying to master it. It's called Native Fortress, and it has you climb up a literal fortress the entire time. But they introduced a lot of new things all at once here, which kind of made it more awful than it should have been. First was the bounty boxes, which aren't really bad because you can't die from them, they just get very annoying. Then they introduced like 3 new enemies here. The monkeys, big plant things, and shield guys, which are going in my journal as my 45th reason why. Also, they added in these slippery goo ramps, which are just stupid overall. So yeah, in conclusion, this level caused me to grow a slightly large hernia, and I ended up being eaten alive by an enemy and getting a trophy from it. There's always a light at the end of the tunnel, as they say. Unless it's nighttime, then it's just gonna be dark. I also ended up fully dying for the first time here, meaning I ran out of extra lives. And when I realized what this meant, completely restarting the entire level. I just went to the bathroom to think about my life choices. I then spent another 30 minutes getting past to where I was, and I made it near the end of the level, which had a ton of extra lives at the ending. So I spun the balls out of it and accidentally spun away an extra life in the process, which was low-key sad seeing the glorious thing fly away from me. But I did get a trophy, so who cares? And I also finally finished the damn thing, so that was cool. I then got to do some levels that were on the river, which is kind of neat. You know, it's a good little switch from the usual running around in a field or climbing a damn fortress for an hour straight. But right after I finished those, I made it to yet again another boss fight, and it was against Ripper-Roo. This fight is much more difficult than the previous one, mostly because you can't actually attack the dude head on, and instead have to jump on TNT as it flows down the stream. This took me a few tries, I won't lie. Then again, everything in this game did because I'm poopy doopy at it. But eventually I did get the guy dead and received another trophy from it. So after that fight, I started making it to some harder levels, and I received 0 trophies from anything until the very next boss fight that I got to like 2 or 3 hours later on. But some of the harder levels before this fight included this one right here, which was just insanely long. I actually think the speedrun time for this level is like 4 minutes, and that was cancer for my entire time trying to platinum this game. I also went to this level in a cave or underground, and oh my god, this level was complete ass because the perspective of it made it damn near impossible to tell depth and where you're gonna land. So I frequently just fell off the platforms, and it was absolutely mind-numbing. But the next one was even worse. A sky level. There's only 2 of these, if I can remember correctly, where the entire level is positioned in the sky on a bridge that is just falling apart completely, and they are horrible. If you played Crash Bandicoot, you would undoubtedly remember these because of how much agony they truly bring to the beholder, being the player. God, my vocab is on point today. Shout out to my fat 12th grade English teacher, on God. There was one more level before the boss fight, however, and it was similar to a previous one I did, but once I completed it, I actually got so little of boxes here that over 30 were missed, and that's a trophy from missing 30 boxes. Just absolute failure. Anyways, after that, I made it to the Koala Kong boss fight, which is actually easy in my opinion. The way you do it is just sit in a corner and watch as he throws TNT at you. Obviously, don't get hit by it, and then a big rock also comes in, so you just spin it at him and he gets a little boo-boo. Once he is hit 4 times, he also tries to come at you but gets swept away in a minecart and is probably being smashed inside the compactor room right now. Oh yeah, we also got a trophy, so that was cool. Next up, I did a level with a lot of these electric obstacles, and they're super annoying. I mean, sure, you can dodge them easily, but if you're dumb like me, you just jump into them and die. And once I did get my testes shocked for the first time, I got a trophy from it, so actually I meant to do that. Next trophy I got was from again another boss fight, and I'm not going to talk about the levels in between it because they were pretty boring. But the boss fight consisted of us getting shot at by some dude with a gun. Now that's not chill, so I just hid from it. Then popped out when he was reloading or had his gun jammed, and I touched him more than once. As a matter of fact, I actually touched him so many times he died. Rest in pieces, and there's my trophy. I then had to endure some of the worst levels in this game next. First being another one of those skybridge levels. I rate it cancer out of 10. I also spent like 50 minutes after on the slippery slope level, which I remember the name for because of just how much trauma I got from it. And then I did a level that was completely in the dark, and you have to be guided by a light that goes out if you aren't constantly running and replenishing it. So yeah, those were so much fun. But I did finally make it to the next boss fight, and it was against Dr. Nitrous Brio. That is until it changed and was against Confusion, or the Autistic Hulk. By the way, you beat the Autistic Hulk by just standing on the stones and waiting for him to get close, then smashing his head real good. And there's the trophy from that boss fight. And then after like one more level in the lab, as they call it, I made it to the final part of the game. And once I stepped onto the gem path, I got a trophy from walking on it. This is the path consisting of gems you get from every level in the game. How neat. Anyways, and then began the final boss fight of the game against Dr. Neo Cortex. And I'm not gonna lie, this did take me multiple tries because I died a few times. But the main premise is you get shot at by 3 different types of energy beams: purple, blue, and green. The green ones are the only one you can spin, and if you spin them, they get sent back at Dr. N here, and he takes damage. So that is how you beat him. And after sending back enough to take him out, I finished the boss fight, got a trophy, and in turn finished every level of the game. Oh yeah, we also saved Shoddy, but she's way out of our league. I give this relationship 2 more weeks at the most. So that is stage 1 completed. Yes, thank you. Thank you for the round of applause. I appreciate it. And I'm not gonna lie, I didn't really follow the remaining stages because I just sort of went in randomly trying to both speedrun and also get all of the gems when I felt like it. So overall, my completion of this game was kind of random and unpredictable, as they say. But the first trophy I got in the end game of this game's trophy list was from just simply defeating 5 enemies using Coco, who was the girl variant of Crash Bandicoot. I then began doing speedrun trophies next. You have to get a gold time or better on every single level in the game for the hardest trophy in the game. But before doing all that, I just got one from simply getting 5 gold relics right here. And I'm not gonna lie, doing these speedrun trophies is quite honestly awful. Like, it basically sucks the entire time. There's only a few levels that are easy, and even the easy ones I still barely did because I'm just not great at Crash Bandicoot, okay? But I did end up reaching 10 gold relics around 2 or so hours after, so that's not too shabby, and I got a trophy trophy from it. Sadly though, the next speedrun trophy would be from just getting all of the relics, which is why I didn't receive really any trophies for like 8 hours of me dying inside. I would say I should probably stream myself doing these games because the amount of dying and raging would just be insane content, but I also don't think any of it would be monetized on YouTube because I said some ungodly things during this game, and it's made for kids. Just ask Dr. Disrespect, he knows all about it. But I did finally get the key from one of the 2 levels that have them in this game. I'm not sure why there's only 2 keys in this game, but you literally just find them in a bonus level and that's it. Also, there's a trophy for finding the keys, and this is the first one right here. And then I also got the second one basically right after, and here's the trophy pop for that. I then returned to a level that I tried to speedrun earlier, but just could not. I think I spent overall 4 hours plus on this level, and for whatever reason, it just was not happening. Like, I tried my goddamn best, but just could not do it. I also played for 15 hours in one day that also bled into 3 a.m. and I was so pent up with rage and annoyance that I just had to let it out one way or another. And they ultimately decided I would just smash my controller. Now, I should clarify, this was a controlled break, by the way. I even cleaned up my desk before smashing it since I had so many monster cans just cluttering it. That's aside from the fact though, and 1 like equals 1 prayer for my next controller. Maybe it will last more than 4 games this time. So yeah, I smashed the shit out of my last controller and then went to bed for the night. I woke up early the next morning and drove my ass to Target because Best Buy wasn't open yet. Bought a new controller, drove home, loaded up the good old Crash Bandicoot and strapped in for 6 more hours straight, and I did platinum the game. The first trophy I got here was just from getting 99 lives total in the game, which is actually super easy with all the bonus levels you have to do because they give insane amounts of lives usually. And then 2 hours later, I reached 13 gems, which is halfway to 26, and got a trophy from it. I also finally managed to do that level that took my controller from me earlier, and bro, the gold speedrun time was 4 minutes, which is why it took so long for me to beat it, because usually I would get like 3 minutes in and then die and have to reset. Getting this trophy nearly caused me to tear up, I'm not gonna lie, that was traumatizing. But my last trophy was just from getting all 26 gems in this game, and those aren't even that hard to get, to be honest, at least not when compared to the gold relics. They aren't even on the same playing field. So eventually I did get them all, got the trophy, and the glorious platinum right along with it. So that was the Crash Bandicoot Platinum Trophy experience, and I'm not gonna lie and say, well, if you weren't going for the platinum, this game is actually really fun, because it's not. I hate Crash Bandicoot. I don't know why it's praised. This game is insanely annoying and not fun at all unless you're a damn psychopath. Where's the Tylenol? Okay, have a good day. Thanks for watching. I'll see you all soon. Goodbye. Rest in peace, controller. You deserve better.